Hey folks, this is going to be a long one. I think I finally figured out where the microphone and lens is. So I'm learning. My last video was a vlog and I was saying that I wanted to maybe start making vlogs more often. And then my life went crazy. Let me tell you what's been going on. First of all, the month of May was a rough one. Okay, my Leah turned 3 in May and we also had a lot of sickness going on in our house. PJ brought a cough home from school. He's constantly bringing home a runny nose or something, you know, once they start preschool. Then Tatiana somehow got pink eye and passed that on to folks. And then, you know, something else was going around. Then my Leah all of a sudden got deathly ill. When I say deathly, I mean like this child could have passed away. And I'm smiling like that's funny. But I'm smiling because she's okay now. So I'm just going to give you a little disclaimer here. I'm going to tell this story. If at any point you feel like laughing, go ahead. Don't feel bad. She's okay now. Let me tell you what happened. May 24th-ish, around Labor Day or whatever holiday that was. Labor Day, Memorial Day, one of those. Monday, she woke up and she was complaining about my tummy hurts, but just, you know, casually. It wasn't a big deal. She was just saying, you know, my tummy hurts, but she was still playing. She was still acting normal. By the end of that night, my husband and I, we have dinner with our in-laws. We have family night every Monday or Tuesday night. By dinner time, she was not interested. She didn't want to eat. She only wanted to be held by mommy or daddy, and she just wanted to be held. She wouldn't let us put her down. So we come home, put her to bed. 12:30 a.m. She wakes us up. She's crying. She's sitting up in her bed, vomiting. Throws up all over her bed. We bring her in our bed. She starts throwing up all over our bed. She's really, really warm, so we go to give her some Tylenol. She's vomiting that up. She's shivering. Her whole entire body was shivering. You know how when you have a fever, so it's the weirdest thing because you have a fever. Clearly your body is very, very hot, but for whatever reason, it shivers like you're cold on the inside. It's so weird. So she was, her whole body was shivering. We go to get the thermometer, take her temperature. We put it under her armpit. Thermometer says 104.5. If you know anything about temperatures, 104.5 under the armpit is like, it's deadly. I mean, that's like, people die. That's really, really high because your internal temperature could be 1 to 2 degrees higher than that. Could you imagine having a temperature of like 106.5? That's crazy, you know? So hubby and I look at each other like, oh my God, like our daughter's dying. What's going on? So of course I get the phone. I go to call our doctor. And of course it's, you know, in the middle of the night, so I have to text her. I'm holding the phone in my hand, and all of a sudden, my Leah starts hallucinating. My 3-year-old daughter starts tripping out like she's on peyote, and I'm looking at my husband like, did she smoke something today? What the heck is going on? Because she started flipping out. She starts looking around on the bed, and she was like, there's strange bugs. There's strange bugs. And she looks at me, and she's like, Mommy, there's something on your face. And my husband goes to reach for her like, baby, it's okay. It's on your hand. She starts tripping out. And we were like, what the heck? My husband looked up at me. He was like, call somebody, because this is not okay. So I just called 911. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Well, I'll call my mom, call his mom, be like, what should we do? They're going to be like, call 911. I'm telling the lady, okay, my daughter is vomiting, 104.5 under the armpit. Her whole body is shivering, and she's hallucinating. She says, okay, she's obviously too hot. Put her down. You cannot hold her because your body heat's making her warmer. Take off all her clothes, strip her naked. We're sending the paramedics. My husband goes, oh my goodness, you know, that's going to be a bill for the ambulance. And I'm like, yeah, you know, but what can we do? So we both were like, yeah, for sure. We got to call the ambulance because, I mean, imagine trying to get a 3-year-old who's hallucinating, tripping out. The girl jumped off the bed while I'm on the phone with 911. She jumps off the bed and she goes, I gotta run. I gotta run. I mean, she has a crazy temperature. She's vomiting, talking about, I gotta run. Because she thought these bugs were trying to get her. So I'm trying to hold her in the bed, and I know I'm not supposed to be holding her right now, but I don't have a choice because she's trying to run. The bugs, the bugs, the bugs. Oh my gosh. Ambulance comes. My husband went with her to the hospital because, of course, we're not going to take the whole family to the emergency room. Emergency room is the last place you ever want to be. It's disgusting. You only want to go if you have to. And we were thinking, you know, we have to take the paramedic ride because we couldn't imagine. Could you imagine trying to get a hallucinating, sick, vomiting 3-year-old into a car seat, bucket naked, who's going to sit there for a ride to the hospital? This is not happening. Hubby gets in the ambulance with her. They take her to the emergency room. And that's another reason that I was like, no, let's just call the ambulance, because if you've ever been to the ER, you know they hand you some paperwork, fill this out, go sit over there. There's dudes with gunshot wounds hanging like, oh, is it my turn now? You're not going to tell me with my 3-year-old who's like dying to sit down and wait, fill out some paperwork. I was like, no, call the ambulance. Plus, you never know. You never know what it could be, and 15 minutes could be the difference between life and death in certain situations. Anyway, they get to the ER. All they do really is get her to hold the medicine down and wait for her fever to come down, which it did. Finally, since she stopped vomiting, and once the medicine was in her, she was completely fine. She was smiling. She was like, hey, mommy, I was brave at the hospital. She's just talking normal. I'm like, okay, so what did they say? What was this? They said it just looked like a stomach bug. You know, she's 3, so sometimes little viruses and bugs will hit her harder than a normal person. She's a normal person, but you know what I mean. She's a little person. Well, she's not, you know, a dwarf. She's like, you know what I'm trying to say. She's a toddler. Her body's trying to fight it. So hopefully it'll just go away on its own. They said to continue to give her medicine, alternate every 2 hours between Advil and Tylenol. For the next 2 days or so, we stayed in contact with my doctor because, of course, my doctor did contact me back and told her we had gone to the ER and told her what they said. And she said, yeah, continue to keep her on the medicine. For the next 2 days, she continued to vomit. However, we were able to kind of keep medicine down every 2 hours. Even throughout the middle of the night, we set our alarms to get up every couple hours and give her the medicine. Our doctor said, okay, it'll probably turn into diarrhea once she kind of breaks through. Somebody's banging for my attention. Hey, baby love. Seems like it's progressing because she stopped vomiting. The doctor said if her fever continues for 5 days, then bring her in. Then I definitely want to see her. So it was a miserable, I mean, if you can imagine, if you have kids, or even if you don't have kids, if you could just imagine having a child that's so ill that you're having to give them medicine every couple hours. And if you don't, because there were times where I kind of let the medicine wear off a little because I wanted to see where she was. You know, I wanted to see if she was getting better. If I let the medicine wear off, she would start complaining, my tummy hurts, and her fever would spike up. So I let the medicine wear off. One time, this girl, she started hallucinating again. Her fever went up to like 103 or something really high. She starts hallucinating about monkeys this time. It wasn't bugs this time, it was monkeys. She was laying on my bed and she was like, there's monkeys on my nose. There's monkeys on my nose. Baby, remember, it's just your imagination. They're not real. I went to get her some ice water to try to cool her down. Of course, I gave her some medicine. I brought the water. She looks in the cup. There's monkeys in my water. There's monkeys in my water. Poor baby girl, she's seeing things. That really had my husband tripping out. My husband was like, okay, this is not cool. We need somebody to tell us what is going on with our daughter. I stayed in touch with the doctor the whole week. Friday came. I let the medicine wear off a little. Her fever still went up to like 101. She started saying her tummy hurt again. Doctor says bring her in. She checks her hands, her eyes, her ears, her nose, her throat, everything. Doctor's like, from what I see, she looks fine. It still seems like a stomach virus too that just hasn't completely worked its way out yet. Her body's still trying to fight it. The doctor goes, the only thing that I'm thinking it could possibly be, she says, is strep throat. She was like, sometimes in kids this age, strep throat presents as a tummy ache and a high fever instead of a sore throat. She was like, the only thing that throws me off from that idea is the vomiting. There can be vomiting involved, but that's not typical. She only threw up for the first couple days and she's not still vomiting. It makes me think that it's a stomach bug. And I said, okay, well, how about we just give her the test for strep throat anyhow, just to, be sure. So the doctor's like, yeah, of course we'll do that. So they have something called a rapid test that they're supposed to be able to give, which could tell you instantly if they have strep throat or not. But it's a long story of what is even longer than this video. But it's a long story. We couldn't get the rapid test done. We ended up having to do an actual lab test. As a mother, I'm just devastated because now I have to sit here over a whole weekend and not know anything. So our doctor's excellent. She's great. Shout out to Dr. Conley. So she's like, stay in touch with me, text me throughout the weekend, let me know how she's doing. And I just left feeling so defeated. Something's wrong with my baby and I don't know what. And something's very wrong. It's not just like, oh, she doesn't feel well. This is an extremely high fever. She's still complaining about this tummy ache. If I let the medicine wear off, the girl starts flipping out like Smokey and Friday. I was just dejected. And I was stressed the heck out. Praise the Lord. Saturday comes. I didn't give her any medicine at all Saturday morning because I wanted to see once again where she was at. Finally, we had a breakthrough. On Saturday, she had 3 poopsies. Each time was a different color, and they were all extremely loose. So I was like, finally, I think the tummy virus has come out. She didn't have a fever that day. She had her diarrhea. I was like, yay, it's gone. And then I go to get in the shower, and my husband was like, what's that? He's pointing at me, right? I broke out in a rash all on the side of my body. I was like, you know what, God, you're real funny here, because you have me up here praising you that my Leah's okay, and now I'm about to die of malaria. Like, what is going on up in here? Because you know I did what you're not supposed to do. What you're not supposed to do is jump on the computer and try to diagnose yourself, right? And try to figure out what's going on. When my Leah had her several days of high fever and vomiting, I'm like typing in symptoms, all kind of stuff comes up. Everything from your, you know, it's just a normal, everyday, okay, little virus that doesn't mean anything, it's no problem, all the way through to leukemia and deadly diseases and fatalities and all this, you know. So I'm like, oh, my baby's dying. Saturday morning comes, hallelujah, she's okay. Now I'm dying, oh, Lord. My husband was like, babe, it's just stress. You're stressed the heck out. And then a couple other people, my mom and some people on Facebook were like, it's probably, you know, an early sign of shingles. I had chickenpox as a kid. If you have chickenpox as a kid, you have the shingle virus inside of you, and it can present, and it usually pops out when you're stressed. It wasn't painful. It's a little sore to the touch the first day, and then it was itchy the second day, and then it just went away on its own after that. But for a couple days, I was just like, oh, Lord, my life is just a mess right now. And then once my Leah was okay, then everybody else started getting diarrhea. Everybody. Tatiana in her poo-poo diapers were disgusting. PJ is messing his underwear. Not my husband, little PJ. Big PJ. He wasn't like running to the bathroom, but it wasn't a fun time in the bathroom. Myself, same thing. I wasn't running to the bathroom, but when I did go, it was not well-formed. TMI, but I'm telling the story. I mean, I was just miserable. And then come the next Friday, my doctor sends me a text message and she says, guess what, Jay? It was strep throat. Correction, it is strep throat. Even if she's feeling 100% better, we have to give her antibiotics because she could still be contagious. I said, are you for real? Do I have to worry about my other two kids now getting this strep throat? She was like, no, they probably would have gotten it already. Oh, thank the Lord. They did not get strep throat. But you know what that meant? That meant 5 more days of medicine for my Leah. Twice a day, we had to give her a dosage of antibiotics. Now we're into a 3rd week of dealing with this. Thankfully, she felt fine and she was a trooper and the medicine tasted yummy. But that's what's been going on. I need a vacation. I need to be baby free for a while so I can be runny nose free, boo-boo free. I am praying to the good Lord above that July is a much better month for us. May and June, horrendous. And we're only halfway through June, so maybe the second half of June will be much better. The moral of the story is wash your hands very, very often. Don't touch your face. Don't put your fingers in your mouth. And don't have kids until you are ready to experience a whole new level of stress that you never knew existed. I don't know how single parents do it. I don't. Props to any of you single parents. Ooh-wee, because I am so grateful that I have a husband who is an amazing dad. There's a lot to be grateful for. Amazing grandparents that talked on the phone with me and talked me through my moments of stress. An amazing doctor who was with me every step of the way, texting me, had me send her pictures and everything, who even thought to check for strep throat. Grateful that everything was curable. That nothing we have going on over here is serious, nothing's fatal, and that in general, we're in good health, and in general, we're in good spirits. But if I happen to have any subscribers who are millionaires who like to do just like random acts of kindness, hubby and I need a vacation. Yeah, I'm just kidding. We're actually planning in July. I am planning a getaway. We gotta do something because we haven't been on a vacation in forever. I'll vlog about that next time. Anyway, let me end this long old video, but I wanted to tell you what's going on, and who knows what's coming next for me. Hey, stop begging, please. I see you. Hi, baby. Y'all know I'm very random, so keep an eye. I'm thinking about doing another parody video. Keep an eye out for that. Make sure you're subscribed if you aren't already. Always check the description box below. Sometimes I put some fun little things in the description box. Of course, I have my Twitter and Facebook if you want to follow me on all that, and my blog about, you know, working from home, making money online. So always check the description box if you want to connect with me. Check you on the next video. Pray for us, y'all. Peace and blessings. Were you sick? Yes. Was your tummy hurting?
Yeah.
And what else? Was anything else hurting?
My forehead.
Your forehead was hurting.
Yeah.
What did they do at the hospital, Pookie?
They had to check my medicine.
They had to check your medicine, or they gave you some medicine?
Daddy's outside with no shoes on.
She does have shoes. You're outside with no shoes on, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. Where are you going?
She's bothering me.
You see a fly? She says, shoot, don't bother me.
Yes, Daddy.
Was Daddy with you at the hospital? Yes.
Funny.
She's funny? You're funny. She's my wild child, this one. She's just giggling for no reason, making faces. Hey, silly girl. She's silly. This girl's so silly. It's time to come in.
It's so very good to play outside. The medicine made me run right now.
Why are you talking like that? The medicine made you better or drunk?